Welcome back to the JCPod, partner with Stare Down Sports. Stare Down Greatness. We are officially now 44 days away from College Football Week 0 and 56 from NFL Week 1. I mean, that is 8 weeks, people. 8 weeks, and we get an NFL game. I mean, technically there's, we talked about it last week, or yesterday, or not yesterday, sorry. Yesterday for me, 2 days ago for you guys. The Hall of Fame game is this month, so... yeah, there's that. Well, let's be honest. Most of us are just going to watch the first drive or two and be like, all right, yeah, we're ready for the real football now. But with that being said, I mean, it's right around the corner. So we still got some breakdowns to do. So today, we're basically going to talk about the rest of the AFC East. So we got the Buffalo Bills and the New York Jets. Won't lie to you, a lot more Bills bets than Jets bets. Jets are going to be a weird team. I'll talk about it a little bit more when we break into them. But there's a lot of unexpected, a lot of new. So without any further ado, haven't said that in a while. Let's hop right in. So like I said, we'll quickly go over this for the people that were not here on, what was it, I guess Tuesday. The AFC East. It's kind of a runaway for one team. You had the Buffalo Bills going 13-4. Then you had the Dolphins 8-9, Jets 5-12, Pats 4-13. We'll talk about the Bills first. I think they're just a team we should lead off with, especially since a little bit more stuff for them, so we'll leave them with the most time. Not too much NFL news to talk about again, so I'll probably just bring that into next week. There's nothing, nothing's really popped off that's been crazy, so we'll just hop right into the Buffalo Bills, like I said. So in coaching change-wise, I don't think anything's really changed for them. Let's see, they kept the head coach, offensive coordinator still Joe Brady. Defensive coordinator still the same. I think special team coordinators where they changed, where they brought in Chris Tapor. Other than that, it's a lot of other small positions, like defensive line, assistant defensive line, Nichols coach, defensive assistant, so a bunch of stuff like that. So it's basically a lot of the same roster that we had last year that we saw was really, really close to toppling the Chiefs. Quarterback-wise, they have Josh Allen backing him up with Mr. Trubisky and Mike White. James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson are the running backs who, won't lie to you, can't wait to talk about James Cook this year because I think it's going to be a little bit different than our luck with him last year. Receiver-wise, you got Khalil Shakir, Keon Coleman, Joshua Palmer, Elijah Moore, Curtis Samuel, Laviscus Chenault, Dawson Knox as Dalton Kincaid as their tight ends, Reggie Gillum as their fullback. Offensive line-wise, I mean, you know who the leader in the offensive line room is. Deion Dawkins, the partial/helper creator of the Protector of the Year award. Defensively, you got Greg Rousseau, Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, Joey Bosa, who was an addition this year, Matt Milano, Terrell Bernard, Dorian Williams, Christian Benford, Taylor Rapp, DeMar Hamlin, Maxwell Hairston, and Teron Jones. I think they still have, Tyler Bass is still their kicker. We might as well just hop straight into the schedule as well. Schedule-wise, I mean, home versus Baltimore, away versus Jets, home versus Dolphins, home versus Saints, home versus New England, away for Atlanta. Week 7 bye, which is actually tough because this is a team that's probably going to make the playoffs. So, man, the fact they're going to basically have to go on a 10-week stretch of no rest, basically, assuming obviously they don't rest week 18, and then have to jump into the playoffs. I mean, that's going to be, their body's for sure going to be ready. You got away for Carolina, home versus Kansas City, away for Miami, home versus Tampa Bay, away versus Houston, away versus Pittsburgh, home versus Cincinnati, away versus New England, away versus Cleveland, home for Philadelphia, and the final game of the season is home against the Jets. Now, this is a team, like I said, last year they went 13-4. So going into this year, I think their over-under is about 11.5, so not too much of a change. Personally, for me, I won't lie to you. I don't think I'm going to bet the Bills over-under because I just think they're going to be a great team. I'd rather not stress out them winning 12, 13 games when I am pretty calm. I mean, I think they're going to win 12 games if we're being real. But, yeah, I just can't fully get myself confident in that. Yeah, over-under 11.5 too, and 11.5 is minus 160. So, I mean, that's even more like a... I think they're going to win 12. I assume they're going to win 12 games. I think it would only be like a one-game regression. Their schedule is a bit tougher, but, I mean, there's definitely games that, like... I mean, starting off against Baltimore is kind of tough. I mean, then you got, like, Jets, probably should beat them. Probably should beat Dolphins. Probably should beat Saints. Probably should beat New England. Won't be shocked if they lose them, but they probably should. Should beat Atlanta. Should beat Carolina. I mean, that's a 6-game winning streak, taking them to 6-1, assuming they lose to Baltimore. Then you play the Chiefs. That can maybe be 6-2. We'll just say they beat the Dolphins again for this 7-2. Beat Tampa Bay 8-2. Houston's 9-2. We'll say they lose to Pittsburgh. Or no, we'll say they beat Pittsburgh. That's 10-2. Lose to Cincinnati. That's 10-3. Lose to New England this time will be 10-4. Beat Cleveland. That's 11-3. And then you got Philadelphia and the Jets to end the year for that win to secure it. So I mean, if you look at the schedule, I mean, it's by far really doable. But minus 160 though, like yeah, I'm good on that. I'm just not even gonna take the over under. If I had to pick it though, obviously I'm the over 11.5 wins, but I'm for sure not betting it because minus 160, dog. That's just gross. That is just gross, people. Absolutely disgusting. I can't get over it. Minus 160, man. Whew. That's some gross shit. If you like Buffalo Bills to win the AFC East, they're minus 260 to win their division, which is not too shocking based on kind of what's going on around them. I'm assuming New England might be the second best team this year. I'm assuming for me, if I had to project this division to go super early on that, probably going to be Bills, Patriots, Dolphins, Jets. It's my guess. With the Dolphins and Jets, probably going to be pretty close in games. I don't know. I can't say with confidence, though. The first thing I want to talk about when it comes to Josh Allen is his passing yards. Because that's the first bet I'm looking at. Because I won't lie to you. Josh Allen, before we get to the passing yards, we'll talk about touchdowns first. Because that's the one I'm really, really, really struggling on. So his passing touchdowns, so we'll go since 2022. He's had, passing touchdown-wise, he's had 35, 29, 28. So it has regressed a bit. But he's gotten better as a quarterback. Defense has gotten a tad better, not much, but a little bit better. He's been better at controlling the ball as well. So that right there is where it gets me a little bit nervous. But his over/under passing touchdowns is 27.5 plus money. So that's why I will be taking that because I mean, like, there's a chance that yes, maybe he throws one less touchdown pass based on his regression and based on the last few years of what he's done. But I mean, the way he was on MVP place last year, the reason he won the MVP. I mean, what's to say? I mean, Lamar won MVP 2 years ago and then was basically right there with even better stats this year. So who's to say that, especially with a lot of these people returning, why can't Josh Allen improve just a little bit on some of these stats? Why not? Can he just throw for that many more yards? You know, throw for an extra touchdown or two. I mean, that's truly not out of the question. The fact that it's plus money for, I mean, if I had to be honest, after looking at his last few seasons, I projected him about at, I would say, I think it was literally like 28 or 30. Like, I mean, I didn't project it for much more than his over-under, but the fact that it is plus money for that 27.5, that's one where it's like, yeah, that's going on the bet slip. There's no question about that. And the reason, another thing too, is him over 30 plus passing touchdowns is plus 155. I mean, for two more passing touchdowns, you get an extra 43 odds. I don't know if that's too much worth it, honestly, but I did love the 30.5. I'm like, wait, if it's only this, what's his over under? And in fact, it's 27. It's like, yeah, I'll take the extra 2 less touchdowns for a little bit. I mean, they're both plus money regardless, so that's just something that I was just trying to debate myself. It's like, do I want to bump it up to 30 for the odds? Do I want to leave it at 27 for the number? And I'll take the number most days, almost 7 days of the week, to be honest. I mean, to get those higher bit of odds would be great, but I'd rather not stress about 2 extra touchdowns, especially if that's really, really not needed. So, yeah, I'm for sure over his 27.5 passing touchdowns there. Passing yards-wise, he's at 37.75.5. Last 3 seasons, 4,200, 4,300. He had 3,700 last year. And he started all 17 games, but he didn't play in that 17th game. So, basically, that's 3,700 passing yards in 16 games, which, not bad. But it's something that I at least just wanted to bring up. I don't think I'm going to take it because I'm going to be on his touchdown. So, for me, it was kind of like, all right, we're going to do one or the other. But I don't think it's a bad number at all, especially because I don't see Josh Allen regressing too much. If anything, I mean, if he's going to regress, it's going to be, like, very, very minuscule, not enough to, like I said, for the passing touchdown wise, like he's going to throw 27 to 28. Like a regression is basically the same number he got last year. Like that's kind of my thinking, but I'm not fully torn, so I'm going to stay away. I'm just going to stay away from the passing yards because, like I said, we have the touchdowns there, but I at least wanted to bring it up because it's something I have really, really considered. Now, I guess for the rushing yards, and I won't lie to you, another reason I want to take his touchdowns and kind of avoid the passing yards because I want to go for rushing yards. 762, 524, 531 the last 3 years with 7, 15, and 12 rushing touchdowns. I believe I'm going to be also on his rushing touchdowns. I can't remember. Oh, it's at 10.5. Excuse me. I leaned it, didn't take it. I was trying to remember. I'm like, I thought that I might have taken them, but I did not. So yeah, one, I will take those rushing yards. I do like the fact that it's at an even 500. Because I mean, he's a mobile quarterback. I do think he's going to slowly, eventually get away from that. But as of basically in this regards to next season, I don't think next season is going to be the year where Josh Allen is like, yeah, I do need to run a little bit less to save my legs. I don't think he's thinking like that yet. Because I mean, you've heard him come out in not even meetings, like just in interviews. I don't know if he does podcasts like that, but basically in interviews, stuff like that, he's come out and said like, yeah, I know I need to slide more, I need to protect myself a little bit more, I need to do a little bit better at that. And then the very next game, you see him lowering shoulders, fighting for those extra 2 to 3 yards. So a reason I am leaning towards rushing as well is the tush push. I mean, I don't think it's gonna matter like in the. I don't think it's gonna matter like if he only runs tush push, like that's gonna help his yards. But it's one of those things where it's like they're like 3rd and 2. Instead of throwing the ball, it's like, hey, that's an automatic rush for like 3-4 yards if they convert. And that adds up slowly over time. That's more of going into my touchdown aspect. Like, I do lean as over in touchdowns. Just because, or rushing touchdowns, just for the fact of the tush push. If they get close, they might just go Josh Allen, shove him over. But I don't know. There's a reason I just haven't taken it yet. So I'm going to just lean off of it for a bit. But it is one that I'm tempted in. Very, very tempted, but like I said, I'm going to probably end up laying off that one because I'm going to be on his rushing yards and his passing touchdowns, so I might as well. I don't need to just ride everything. I think Josh Allen's going to have a good season. I think that's what it's telling me because I've liked a lot of his numbers when I was looking at him beforehand, so that was kind of what led me to all that there. But that's basically does it for the Josh Allen part. That's all I had on him. We talked about them being the AFC East winner at minus 260, just insane. The last one I want to talk about has to do with James Cook. Because I won't lie to you, receiver-wise, Khalil Shakir is the only one with stats. I'm not going to mess with their receivers because this is an offense where they don't... Like, some offenses have too many weapons, so they get the ball passed around a lot. It's one of those things where I don't want to say they don't have any weapons because it's kind of disrespectful to the guys they got. But I think they got a bunch of... I don't know, I guess it's what wide receiver twos. I don't think they have any guy that's going to be dominant ball hawk where it's just like Josh Allen. I mean, that's going to be Khalil Shakir in this offense, but I don't think there's anybody who's just going to absorb majority of the targets. If it's going to be anybody, it's going to be Shakir. But like I said, I'm not trying to bet just on a chance. I'd rather feel a little bit more comfortable in that. So I'm curious to see if Keon Coleman takes a step up for the Bills as well this season. That wide receiver part, I mean, they basically, it's open for somebody to be the number one and the number two. Khalil Shakir kind of looks like he's going to be the one just based on how he played last year when it comes to targets and receptions. But there's definitely room for other people to get involved. Rushing-wise, I just want to talk about James Cook's touchdowns and rushing yards. Rushing yards-wise, James Cook over 950.5 rushing yards. I'm not taking this just personally for the fact that I think all three backs are going to get involved again. I loved James Cook's last year. I mean, that was probably my favorite future I gave out all year. His over-under in rushing touchdown was 4.5. And James Cook was the main back for 3/4 of the season. And towards the tail end of the season, I don't know if it's because he got hurt. I don't know if it's got cold. I don't know if it's because they got more trust in the other backs or what. But you saw Ty Johnson take over a little more. Then you saw Ray Davis take over a little bit more. So I think this is a team that regardless, I mean, James Cook might be the one. He's still dealing with contract stuff too, so we'll have to see. But even if he's not the one, he's a guy who is going to be sharing a running back room with two other guys who are for sure going to get on the field. I mean, they are for sure going to play at least some snaps. So that's why I'm just going to stay away from him. He doesn't have... Two guys makes me feel a little bit weary, but I'll still kind of consider it. Three guys, it's just like, man, I'm just asking for it. And because what if it could... I don't think this will happen, by the way, but James Cook could get hurt for 2 or 3 weeks, and then say Ray Davis gets hot for those 2 or 3 weeks. Maybe Ray Davis become the starter, and he runs for another 2 weeks while James Cook gets worked back. Like, there's situations like that. There's so many different situations that could happen where James Cook basically gets screwed out of his own touchdowns or gets screwed out of his rushing yards, whether it's injury, whether it's trying out other guys for just a situation like, hey, Ty Johnson is a good situation to put you in. Just stuff like that, so I'm going to stay away from that. His over-under in touchdowns is minus 140 for the under 9.5. He scored 16 last year. And the seasons before that, it was 2, and then it was 2. So when they put it 4.5 last year, I came on the show. I said I liked it. I think he's a guy who's going to take a lot of these carries and become the main guy. And he did do that. I think it hit by week 6. But as the season went on, like we just talked about literally a couple minutes ago, Ray Davis got a little bit more involved. Ty Johnson got a little bit more involved. So I think the same thing's going to happen here. I do think there's going to be some touchdown regression. I projected him for about 9-210, so that's why I'm probably going to stay away from this over-under. I thought the books, I won't lie to you, the books have nailed a decent amount of these futures. There's some where I'm just baffled by the number, but this was one of those ones where it's like, I actually do like that, because I projected him to probably lose about 6 to 7 touchdowns-ish myself, and he had 16 last year. Based off that number, I was like, yeah, I'll probably score about 10-ish this year. And that's before I looked at the over-under, and then I saw it was 9.5. It's like, so that makes sense why I kind of feel that way, because that's how I should feel. So I just wanted to bring that up because that is something where I do lean his under, because I think there's going to be a bit of regression. And not because he's a bad player or got worse, but because basically there's just more mouths to feed in the running back room. And the under, like I said, the under 9.5 is minus 140 anyway. So I don't think I would take it anyway just because of the odds. But it's one of those ones where it's like I was looking at it, kind of tempting. I do think there's going to be some regression. I might even, like, if you could find an all under for like under 8.5, I might consider just taking that for just have a little dart throw, because I do think there's a chance where maybe he just completely goes down. But I don't know. I still think James Cook's going to be good, but they still need to sign him to a deal. There's still some stuff if you figure it out there. And regardless if they do sign him to a deal or not, he has 2 guys behind him that might just take whatever you call it, carries away from him. Take carries away from him, take touchdowns away from him. And I mean, I did all that talk too without mentioning Josh Allen, and Josh Allen potentially vulturing a goal line touch or 2, or there's just so much that can happen with the running. I think the running back room this year is a little bit more diversified than it was last year, where at the beginning of the season especially, it was heavy James Cook. I think we're going to see a 4-headed monster between, now mind you, this could be like 30, 40, 40, I think that's not even right math, but you know what I mean, 30, 30, 30, 10%, something like that carry-wise. Like, it could be like that. It could be 20, 20, 20, 60. And I know that math doesn't add up either, but it could be any one of these things. But Josh Allen, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, James Cook, all those guys are going to get carries. All those guys are going to run with the football. A lot of mouths to feed, so I'm just probably going to just stay away. For the Buffalo Bills to make the playoffs, they're minus 750. I mean, they're making the playoffs. If we can do stage of elimination, I just want to bring up the stats because they're probably just inflated to the max for this team. Buffalo Bills, state of elimination, missed the playoffs plus 500. Don't think that will happen. Losing the wild cards plus 290. Losing divisionals plus 260. Losing conference championships plus 440. Losing Super Bowls plus 850 to win in the Super Bowls plus 700. I do think this is a year where are they going to run into the Chiefs again? And will they be able to get them this time? They were really close last time, just couldn't get over the hump. I don't know. I haven't really committed to my Super Bowl pick just yet either, so I'm kind of staying away for that for the time being. But that's going to do it for the Buffalo Bills portion of this pod. So my official futures for the Buffalo Bills: Josh Allen over 27.5 passing touchdowns plus 112. Josh Allen over 500.5 rushing yards minus 114. And you know what? We'll make it a trifecta. Why not? Why not? Let's have some fun, man. Josh Allen over 10.5 rushing touchdowns. Like I said, I am tempted that James Cook under 9.5, but I'm not going to do it just yet, and I don't think I will at all, honestly, because it's minus 140. Then Josh Allen over 37.75 passing yards. I like it, just not enough to fully take. That just leaves us with one team, people. The New York Jets, who are a completely new team. Aaron Rodgers, gone. Robert Saleh, gone. There's a lot of people that have been gone. I don't need to do that for everyone who's left, but Aaron Glenn was hired as a new head coach. Steve Wilkes was brought in to lead the defense, so him and Aaron Glenn, I think, will work in tandem on the defense. Our offensive coordinator, Taron Engstrand, was previous with the Lions, I'm assuming he worked with Aaron Glenn some when Aaron Glenn was at the Lions. He came over as well. There's a new offensive line coach. And then Chris Banjo was hired as a new special teams coordinator. I mean, they basically cleaned house. They got rid of almost every single person. And, I mean, it kind of makes sense. Aaron Rodgers, 2-year little thing there didn't work. I mean, Robert Saleh coaching there didn't work. I mean, it's the Jets. A lot of shit just was not working right. And like I said, they were a team who last year, 5-12, 3-5 at home. They ended the year at least with a win, but it was just a bad year for them overall. I mean, Aaron Rodgers wasn't the best. He had some moments towards the second half of the season where it seemed like he was a little bit more comfortable with his Achilles than before, but I mean, regardless, it was just not a good season for them. But now going into this year, a little bit different. You got Justin Fields and Tyrod Taylor, Adrian Martinez as your quarterbacks. You got Breece Hall, Braylon Allen as your running backs. You got Garrett Wilson, Josh Reynolds, Alan Lazard, Malachi Corley, Arian Smith, Tyler Johnson as your wide receivers. Mason Taylor, Jeremy Ruckert as your tight end. Andrew Beck as the fullback. I think that's Olaf Ashani was there last year. Elijah Vera Tucker was there last year. Amar Membu was their draft pick. Joe Tippmann, I can't remember if he was there last year. And then John Simpson, not sure. So I think it's 2 returners on the offensive line, if I'm not mistaken. For the Bills, I think they return a good amount. I won't lie to you, I can't fully remember for them. I just oddly, for whatever reason, remember some of the Jets offensive linemen's names. Defensively, you got Will McDonald, the 4th, Derek Nottie, Quinton Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Jamin Davis. What a name. What a name, if I said it right. If I said it right, I said. Damian Sherwood, Quincy Williams, Sauce Gardner, Tony Adams, Andre Sisco, Brandon Stevens, and Michael Carter the second. So let's just talk about their schedules. We hop into it. Home versus Pittsburgh. Home versus Buffalo. Away versus Tampa. Tough. Revenge game for Justin Fields, though. And revenge game for Aaron Rodgers. Miami Dolphins. That is next week. 4 Miami Dolphins. Then it's home versus Dallas. Home versus Denver, unless it's a neutral site game, which... if it's a neutral site game, so I believe that's an overseas game for the Jets. I can't remember at this point. That's been so long ago. Well, that's technically home versus Denver, but that I believe is overseas. Then they're come back home for Carolina. Away for the Bengals, week 9 bye, which if this team was going to make the playoffs, not the best, but not horrible. Home versus Cleveland for week 10. Then away for New England, away for Baltimore, home versus Atlanta. Home for Miami, away for Jacksonville, away for New Orleans, home versus New England, and away for Buffalo to end the season. So that's cool. We play Buffalo week 2, play Buffalo week 18. Let's see, and then I think New England, they play... never mind, I read that wrong. I was like, that's really cool. They play New England, Buffalo, and then they go Buffalo, New England, Buffalo, but that wasn't even close. I don't know why I thought that. But yeah, this is a team over-under-wise. I believe they're over-unders at 6.5. If we were going to talk about it, let me find it. Over-under 5.5, minus 160. Nasty. I would lean that because I just think I think they're going to win 6 games. I do think they're going to be a little bit better than last year, but it's not enough to take it. And it's minus 160, so I have no interest in taking that. God, that is gross. What is up with these minus 160s? Just like at that point, just move the line. Just move the line, man. I won't lie to you. There's one book that just loves hanging on the lines for dear life, and it gets to a point where you're like, it'll be like minus 3.5 for the first quarter, minus 148. Just move it to 4. Like this, you just don't want people to bet at this point. Like that's gonna hit. But no, over 5.5. Yeah, this is a gross number. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think they'll win over 5 games, but I just don't see myself betting on them to do that, so I'm going to stay away from that. Now it's time to talk about Justin Fields. First thing I will be taking for sure, Justin Fields over 5.5 rushing touchdowns. I do think the rushing part of his game they will try to lean on a little bit in New York. I think they'd be dumb not to, especially because, they dealt with Aaron Rodgers who couldn't move at all because of how old he was, so I think it'd be a nice change of pace for them to be able to use a guy who, is a little bit more mobile. And just for a fact, rushing touchdown, over 5.5 is not bad at all. Minus 114. That is fairly, I want to say if I remember correctly, that's fairly average for Justin. I won't lie to you, I need to look it up real quick because I can't fully remember. But, yeah, he had 5 last year it's been 8 in 2022. Started 13, and he only played 15 games. 13 games a year after in Chicago, he had 4. Started 6 games, played in 10 with the Steelers last year. He had 5. Starting in all these games, I'm assuming he's going to have more than that. I wouldn't be shocked to have goal line packages to get. I'm not going to lie. There's a chance goal line packages with him, Braylon Allen, and Breece Hall, that could get really nasty. And I mean nasty in a good way, where it's like you do I don't want to throw it back a little bit, do a triple option with those 3. You got Braylon Allen running right at you, and then you got Breece Hall and Justin Fields running to the side. You could do some freaky things with that. So I think this is an offense where they could have some potential. It really does just come down to Justin Fields. How much work has he put in to become because I don't want to say this is his last chance to start. They'll probably give him potentially into next year some too. But if he has a bad play, if he plays bad this year, I think the Jets will be very quick to just be like, all right, nope, you are not the guy. Let's draft a guy. And because I can't. We just talked about the quarterback. I said Mike White's their backup. I generally don't think they have a backup that would be Like, basically someone they wouldn't mind getting rid of this year. Like, I don't think if... Basically, so yeah, if their whole QB room just got wiped out from sickness or something, and they had to sign somebody new next season, I don't think they'd be too mad about that. Brady Cook's the guy I was thinking of. Because, yeah, Adrian Martinez, I think he's been there for a while, I want to say. If he's not... Maybe he's not been there for a while, but he's been out of college for at least like 2-3 years. And yeah, and then Brady Cook, he's out of Missouri. So I mean, like that's a position I don't think the Jets would be mad if they got moved on from. But this basically Justin Fields' chance to like, hey, this could be your team for the next couple of years. Like you've proven yourself to have moments. Let's see if you can put a season together now. And I mean, he has the wide receivers to do it. I mean, Garrett Wilson. No, I don't think they'll be too bad overall. They could definitely use, like, if they had Garrett Wilson and Devontae Adams still, that definitely would help him out a lot. But, I mean, I think that, regardless, they're fine, receiver-wise. I mean, unless you're, like... Yeah, they drafted Mason Taylor. That's the biggest thing. I think Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor will be two great targets for Justin Fields. I mean, Josh Reynolds, he'll be okay, I think. Allen Lazard, I wouldn't be shocked if Allen Lazard gets spot out or traded at some point. But I don't think he's going to be too bad for them either. This is just a team that I'm not getting my hopes up in again. I mean, I tried everything with Aaron Rodgers last 2 seasons. Like, all right, I think this is going to be the year they're going to do decent, and I just had to cover my face, man. Couldn't be seen in public after the way I was celebrating the Jets. So, yeah, we're not going to fall for that trap this year. Justin Fields, but like I said, his over 5.5 rushing touchdowns. I do like that. His over-under rushing is 625 for the season. Now, that's one where I'm a little bit more kind of torn on. Because, I mean, in 13 games, he did 657 in Chicago, and in 15, he did 1143 that one year. Last year with the Steelers, he had 62 attempts for 289 yards. So it's one of those things where it's like, I definitely think he will run a decent amount, but I don't know how much they are going to run him, truly. So that's definitely why I kind of lean away from the rushing yards. 625 feels like just a tad too high, too. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if he hit it, but 625 right off the bat without knowing what he's going to do in that offense, or even if he's like, I don't think they're going to do this, but are they going to move on from him if he plays horrible? You'd think they would have to, but maybe they won't. That's just a situation I do not want to deal with, so it's like, I'm good there. So, yeah, Justin Fields over 5.5 rushing touchdowns. That's going to be the only one I take for him. Passing-wise, I'm not interested in his yards. I just don't know rushing-wise. Yet again, not interested. I'm curious to see how he plays in the offense. The Jets to win the AFC East is plus 1,600. Not good. I'll place those bets for you. If you want to send me money, I got you. Send it to me. We'll go to receiver now. Because we'll talk about Garrett Wilson. I was going to talk about him and Breece Hall. Those are the last two guys I want to talk about betting-wise. Because those are the only two guys that I potentially have interest in betting. Garrett Wilson, there's a good chance I'm taking his receiving over, excuse me. He's had 1,000 yards since he's entered the league, and his over-unders at 950. This is just another one of those things where it's like, it's one of those things where I think Garrett Wilson, Aaron Rodgers felt like he was ignoring him at points last year. I don't think he was doing it on purpose, obviously, but there's just points where it felt like Garrett Wilson was getting ignored, and he still finished with 1,000 yards last year. So if he's able to do it with Aaron Rodgers, he's able to do it with some of these other crappy quarterbacks he played with, why not do it with Justin Fields? I mean, he basically did. He got 1,000 yards, 1,042 in 2023-2024 with no Aaron Rodgers at all in the Jets. And now he's bringing in Mason Taylor, who hopefully, I don't think he's going to get, heavily targeted by the defense, but he's a guy who the defense might look at a little bit more. I mean, obviously, when you look at this team and you're talking wide receiver, they're going to focus on Garrett Wilson, but I think there is a chance with some of the other guys they have where they could potentially open up some space for him at least. But like I said, the biggest reason I'm taking this is he's hit 1,000 yards 3 seasons in a row, which is an NBA jam, by the way. But I mean, and he's hit, and they're giving me 950. It's like, yeah, I mean, he's hit. It's 100 yards. Sorry, 92 yards less than what his lowest season output has ever been. And I mean, you're talking targets of 80 or receptions of 83. 95, 101. The biggest thing is he's had over 150 targets in every season, basically. So the targets are going to have to stay up. It's also going to, if they run a decent amount more than they do passing, that could cause some issues as well. But we'll just have to see there. Him over 4.5 receiving touchdowns is minus 136. He had 7 last year, 3 the season before that. I do like it, don't love it. So that's just one where I at least want to bring it up. Hey, it's a number that's not too bad. Not a big fan of the odds, but I'm just not going to risk taking it, I don't think. And then this is the last thing I want to bring up, and then we'll probably finish with some final thoughts. Breece Hall's rushing over is 900 yards. Last year, Breece Hall had 876 rushing yards in 16 games played. The year before that, he had 994, and then it doesn't matter the year before that because he was injured. It just makes me... I'm tempted. This is going to be one I'm going to write in red because it is somewhat tempting to take. I thought Breece Hall was going to be that guy, and then he got hurt that one year, and then it's like, okay, maybe he'll be a little bit better, he'll bounce back, and then just wasn't what I fully expect from him. And then there was last year where it's like, it wasn't the best, but there was moments where he had some good moments, and there's just moments it's like, is Breece Hall even out there? And then Braylon Allen took some carries at the goal line, which was another thing that was just bothersome a little bit. It's just, there was a lot going on with Breece Hall, but the Jets have been such a mess for forever. It's kind of getting to the point, it's like, man, do we blame the players? Do we blame the Jets organization itself? But overall, I think this is a season where I do think the Jets did upgrade at coach. No offense to Robert Saleh. He just didn't seem like a good fit after a certain point. It just seemed like it wasn't going to work there. So I think Aaron Glenn might be a little bit better of a fit. They still keep that defensive identity, which makes sense for a team that's playing in the cold, an identity. And, I mean, they keep the run identity, too, for another team being in the cold because they brought in more of a mobile quarterback. But, yeah, for an over and under 6.5 this season, I probably project them for, like, at best, 8 wins. Will they get 8 wins? Probably not. I truly see them. I mean, they probably could if they... it's just the defense is fine. I think defense will be pretty decent. Should play pretty well. I just don't know what to expect fully from their offense. It's going to be an interesting season for the Jets for sure. I don't think I see them making the playoffs though. That's the thing I've been trying to figure out. It's like, is this a team that could potentially be a dark horse playoff team? If Justin Fields plays really, really, really good, there's always that chance. But I'm not sold in their offensive line, man. I think it'll be a little bit better than last year, but I want to see at least some more snaps of it. And I don't have. Tell you what, especially with buying a home, realistically buying a home, like, I'm not trying to throw money on the Jets. I won't lie to you. It's one of those things where it's like, man, I might as well just save my money and move on because can't trust them damn Jets, man. But I do think it's going to be, I think regardless, they're going to have a better season than last year. I mean, they won 5 games last year. I do think they win at least 6. At best they'll be 9-8 and have a winning season, which I don't think the fans would be thrilled about, but I don't think they'll be too mad about, especially with how bad it's been. I think Jets fans just want to see promise, and that's something I want to see too. That's kind of my final thoughts with the team. I want to see promise. Like, prove to me, like, all right, we're starting to head in the right direction. We're starting to figure stuff out because we thought they were with Robert Saleh. Didn't work out. We thought, okay, now they got Aaron Rodgers. They'll figure something out. He got injured, and then they tried again next year. Didn't work out. So it just seems like late. I mean, it's been since Sanchez. I think it's been, 2011 was kind of his last year? Was that the year of the butt fumble? Whatever year, like 2008, 2009, 2008 to 2011 range, whatever it was. That was the last time I remember the Jets being, like, worth a damn and, like, actually, like, good enough to where it's like, hey, this team might be able to win a playoff game or two. Since then, I mean, they've been just bad. I mean, it's been a whole thing. Both New York teams have been bad, truly. So it sucks, too, for the Jets because they could truly step out of the shadow of the Giants. They could just figure their shit out, but and then there was the whole ownership thing last year that I didn't even get into. I mean, they had, and then I do admit, though, I think their owners come out and basically said, like, yeah, I should be a little bit better. I could be a little bit better, but we'll just have to see, man. The Jets have been so bad for so long, it's hard to see them any other way. I tried to be optimistic the last 2 years. Did not work out too well, so now this year I'm not going to be pessimistic to say. I'm just going to sit back. I'm okay with being wrong about this team. I'm okay being very casual about my, very, very casual, very square, very Markish. I'm very okay with just kind of sitting back, especially being square about this team and just being like, yeah, I think it'll be an average team. So my official futures for this team, we're taking Justin Fields over 5.5 rushing touchdowns, and we're taking Garrett Wilson over 950.5 receiving yards. Kind of lean towards Breece Hall, 900.5 rushing yards. Might be one that's one that might make the Lost Futures episode coming up here soon, but I just don't know, man. Like I said, I don't know if I fully want to invest in the Jets. So now, let's give out my official all plays, all futures for the AFC East Part 2. If you want to check out Part 1, we posted that Tuesday. That will have the other 2 teams in this division, the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins. But yeah, for the official futures for these 2 teams, we're going to take Josh Allen over 27.5 passing touchdowns plus 112. Josh Allen over 500.5 rushing yards minus 114. And we're going to take Josh Allen over 10.5 rushing touchdowns. I believe that's like minus 108. I won't lie to you. Forgot to write down the odds for that one. And as for the Jets, the Jets, Jets. We got Justin Fields over 5.5 rushing touchdowns, -114, and Garrett Wilson over 950.5 receiving yards. Thank y'all for watching. Thanks for the support. I really do appreciate it. By the time you guys are seeing this, I recorded this a day prior. I'll probably be moving. And if I'm not moving, I'll be finishing up stuff. Before probably finishing up the closing, honestly, of the house. Then I'll be moving stuff. So you'll be seeing me back in this feed on Tuesday. Next week's the week where won't lie to you, I might record Monday. I might do a show Monday because they're going to set up internet in my house on Tuesday. So there's a chance that I might pre-record over the weekend to get one out for Monday and then get one out. I might do Monday, Wednesday next week. Good chance. There's a decent chance I might do Monday, Wednesday next week, or Monday, Thursday. But for sure, look out for one on Monday. We got AFC. What do we want to do? Well, we just did AFC, actually. We just did AFC East. So we have NFC East and NFC West. We'll probably do the NFC East because I do already have some futures taken on them. So don't be shocked if I start out with them, but that'll be for Monday of next week. Like I said, thank y'all for watching. Thanks for support. Really do appreciate it. I will see everyone back in this feed on Monday.